Reverend Don Lewis, coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Kitsune Deva. And Kitsune Deva has this question. Kitsune Deva tells us that they are a college student and they belong to a magic club. And the magic club wishes to celebrate the Sabbat of Mabon, which is nearly upon us. The problem is they do not have a private space in which to celebrate, but rather must do it in a large public room where other people will be present, who are not part of their group. They therefore ask how they can go about this in a way that is discreet, and will not be disruptive or arouse unwanted attention. And my answer to this is, first, I would certainly never suggest to you that you should hide the fact that you're celebrating the Sabbat. But I do understand your desire for discretion. Now, Kitsune Deva does not say where this college is located, but I'm sure we all know that there are some places that are more open to public displays of pagan religion than others, and I'm going to assume that perhaps Kitsune Deva is in a place that is not necessarily known for tolerance of diversity. And I will assume that this is why they are concerned with not being disruptive and with being discreet. Of course, that may not be the case, but I'm going to assume that it is. The first thing that you need to consider before going forward with this is how you feel about this need for discretion. Is it going to make you feel good to be discreet? And are you going to look at it as being responsible and respectful of your neighbors? Or is it going to make you feel bad and make you feel that you're hiding your religion? I think you need to be clear on your feelings about it before deciding how exactly you're going to go about it. Having said that, some ways to be discreet while simultaneously celebrating in a public place are basically to use forms that are familiar to the wider public. This is very much the same idea as interfaith language, which we've talked about in other vlogs. You use the forms that people already know so that you're not frightening them with new things. In this case, you would use the postures and forms of a prayer circle. You would stand in the circle, you would hold hands, you would speak in relatively low voices, and people are quite familiar with this method of prayer from many different religions, and so it won't necessarily cause any particularly unwelcome attention. It's not necessary to be flamboyant, it's not necessary to pull out all the bells and whistles to celebrate a Sabbat. You can be very simple in what you do, you can be very discreet in what you do, because it isn't the external things that matter, it's the internal. You don't have to have an altar, for example. Your real altar is your heart, and that is what is important. You don't have to be making flamboyant gestures. You don't have to be intoning everything. You can be very simple. And I think that simplicity is the key to what you really want to do here. If you're very simple, if you're rather understated, you're much less likely to arouse any sort of criticism from others who are there, whether they're criticizing out of intolerance or simply because they don't want to be disturbed. So that would be my primary suggestion. I would also say that you certainly should not feel that you're hiding it. Rather, you should try to look at it as being respectful of your neighbors. And if you find that you have difficulty looking at it that way, then you also want to deal with those emotions. Because if you're feeling badly about having to be discreet, then you're going to feel badly about the whole thing. And you also might find that people are more tolerant than you expect them to be if you give them the opportunity to be. But, again, there's not a need for a ritual to be a spectacular, flamboyant thing. It can be very simple, and I think that probably will best fit your needs. So, I hope you find that helpful, and usually at this time, I would ask people to vote for their favorite vlog of the week. However, this week I haven't done very many, because so many other things have been going on in my life, for which I apologize. But next week we should hopefully have a whole slate of them, and I'm going to roll these 3 over to next week, and we will have our viewers' favorite vlog of the week at the end of next week. So, thank you for watching the vlog, and until next time, may you blessed be. Pray for peace. Pray for love. Pray for stability. Pray for the nation where you live. Pray for the world.